Hey, this is Kevin with Consumer Reports, and I'm back down here at Clearwater Lake today, and I'm looking at another set of targets here that's made by Grizzly targets, and it's part of their Build Your Own series targets, Build Your Own range targets. And before I talk about those, I just want to talk a little bit more on these this IPSC torso right here. From Grizzly targets, just to kind of give you guys an update a little bit on how well it's done. I've been shooting it for over a year, and the post itself, you know, believe it or not, that's the original post that I put in there about a year ago, which my point here is how durable or how long a 2x4 can actually last when you go through and you're shooting it. And we've clearly put some rounds into this target, and my point really is that, you know, as you go through and look at some of their new targets in their Build Your Own Range series, you can see that that 2x4 will probably last longer than you would imagine. The other target by Grizzly that I've reviewed here is their Trifecta target, which is a series of 3 poppers, and you know, it's done. They're spring loaded, and it's done very, very well. Those have been 2 great targets. And so that kind of brings me over here to their Build Your Own Range series, which is made up of several different targets. And we'll look at each one of them here. You know, the first one is more of a static target, and it's this we'll say popper shape right here that you can see I've got it stuck in the ground with a couple of stakes. It's not really reactive other than giving you the report from the bullet hitting the plate. You know, it's made from the 3/8 inch AR 500 steel. The target itself, I've got it stuck in the ground a little bit. You know, comes with the long stakes like that. When you stick it in the ground, you know, they've got a ledge on the back here, which you can either use a hammer or your foot to shove it in the ground, and we'll see how well it stays later on. They've got another style target here, which they call as their 3-gun post, and what that's designed to do is basically just sit on top of a post, a 2x4, just like that. And you know, whenever you set up your range however you want it to be, you know, when the bullet impacts, it's going to flip over like that. So it's not spring loaded. You got to go back out and reset it back up. But that just is a function of how you want to set up your range or your particular match. For this this target right here, it's made from a 1/4 inch AR 500 plate. I think that's a 6-inch diameter circle. I think that's going to be the same on that one. And they have another target here, which is what they're calling their 3-gun flat. Which again, it's not a self-resetting target. You shoot it, it's going to flip over like that, and you have to go back and reset it yourself. The plate comes with a couple of holes in it to where you're probably going to need to take and drive some heavy nails into the ground, but we'll see how it moves or doesn't move without driving it into the ground, but I would imagine it's going to need that. As you kind of come on down here, what you're going to see is those 3 targets, which are mounted on that 2x4, actually come down into a stand. And I really like this little stand concept that they've got right here. You know, it's basically 3 pieces of rectangular steel tube that are welded together, and then a top piece welded on it, and a screw, set screw on the back, thumb screw, so you can kind of tighten that top board to kind of make it a little bit tighter. But all you need to do is come up with some scrap 2x4s and put it together, and you got a really stable posts for mounting your targets on, which I mean, I like the concept, I really do. I can see where it's simple yet extremely functional. I think that's going to do very well as far as part of this build your own range series, or if you just want to use that same concept for some of their other targets. The next two targets that are part of the series are these dueling plates that you see. I've got two of them mounted there on the post here. They are, again, AR 500 1/4-inch plate, and I don't have my tape measure with me. They look a little bit smaller than 6. I'll annotate it in the video. They look like they're maybe 5 inches or 5.5 in diameter, because that's 6 inches up there, so that's probably 5 inches. You can see that these particular targets on the back have a thumb screw here, so you can adjust the height of them. You know, you can move them up or down. It's kind of hard to do and do the video at the same time, but so you can move them up or down on the post. They're spring loaded, so they're going to flip around just like that. So you can set your dueling tree up to be as many of these as you want, whether it's, you know, 6 or 8. But it's just a function of what you can afford. You can buy a couple now and always add to it later on, which I think is a really neat concept. You know, it's kind of, I think that's sort of the market that they're wanting to do here, is provide an economical way to really grow your own range. The last target part of this series is the spring-loaded popper. Okay, and I've already reviewed their trifecta target over here. So this target right here, I'm pretty sure is going to perform great. It's spring-loaded, just like before, just like that. The stand is real secure, holds it in place. Kind of look back here and see some of the mechanism. It's the 3/8 AR 500 plate, so I think that's really going to hold up well. So here in a few minutes, we'll actually get some people set up, and we'll shoot some of these. I nearly forgot one here, which is their IP-SC mini torso. Put it on here, which is there, and you can see how easy it is to pick it up and put it in place. This mini torso, again, is very similar to the other torso plate. You can see how it hangs, the style and all that. And again, I've got a lot of experience with this particular one. They're full size. I think that's maybe it's not the full torso. I think it's Zone A. But you can see the mini torso is about, I don't know, again, I'll annotate it in the video, maybe 12 inches tall, something like that, and I don't know, 8 inches wide, about like that. It's 3/8 AR 500 plate. It's hinged back here, so I think it's going to do very well. So all we need to do is get some people shooting these things and get some video and kind of see how they do. Alright, I don't know if you saw it, but in one of those last shots, I didn't have the thumb screw tightened down tight enough on the back. And this one target actually shifted down some, which is not an issue, because it's just a matter of lifting that target back up into position. If I could do it with one hand, I would. And tightening the thumb screw back down. Now we'll just look here. I was shooting some 9mm, and the AR 500 plate 1/4 inch, I mean, I don't feel any dimples at all in that plate. So to me it looks like that that should be a good system right there. I mean, it was getting good snappy action. You know, there was no bounce back that I was able to see, and I'll be able to tell more when I review the video. But I mean, it was just snapping back and forth just like that. I fired off a few shots at the mini torso, and again, AR 500 plate. This is 3/8 inch thick here, which I think that'll be, I'll probably end up shooting rifles at this also. The 1/4 inch AR 500 plate on the dueling paddles, I'll probably shoot it with 223 a couple of times to see how it does. But I would you know, guess that over time, if you're shooting those with a rifle, you may end up replacing some of the plates. But over the course of the weekend, we'll shoot it quite a few more times. Erica's going to give the Grizzly target a couple more shots here.
You just keep hitting it?
Yeah. 10 yards with the 9mm pistol, and I'll see if I can hit some of this stuff so you can get a feel for the action of each one of these particular targets. So here we go. Go with that popper, the static popper. All right. The flat on the ground. Alright, the dueling tree. That dueling tree has got a real snappy action with no bounce back. I really like that. The spring-loaded popper. You can see at this distance it gets some action, and I'll do the flat at the top. Now you can see with each one of these targets here, you know, like this popper that's on a stake here with a 9mm, you know, I mean, even sticking that far out of the ground, yeah, it wobbled a little bit, but I mean, it held up fine. The flat just kind of flipped over like it should, and I don't even have it staked down, so it kind of held its position and just flipped back. I like the dueling tree parts here. It really snaps back into place really nice and really quick, and there's nearly no bounce back at all. I mean, we haven't seen any bounce back. The 3-gun post, that just flips over, and the spring-loaded popper at this distance with 9mm, I mean, you get some action out of it. I'll go ahead and change over and put the mini torso on top of the post for a few rounds, and after that I'm going to shoot some of these targets with a 223 from a little bit further, probably closer to 50 yards. Okay, this is shooting the mini torso with 9mm. Go ahead, about 10 yards. Okay. Erica, see if you can shoot the 3-gun flat on the ground.
The one on the right?
On the left.
Oh, the one on the ground, okay.
Yeah. There we go. Can you hit that popper beside it to the left that's on the stake? There you go. All right, shoot anything you want to. That wasn't too bad. Smile for the camera. Exactly. Alright, I've got some of the Grizzly targets, Build Your Own Range series targets set up here. We're going to shoot them with a 223 rifle. I went ahead and set this this particular target right here, which is your three gun flat, just down here in the grass at 25 yards, because I want to see how well they are. 500 plate, 1/4 inch holds up at 25 yards. Right now it's not staked in, okay, but I have some stakes ready if it looks like it needs to be staked in, and I'll just line one up like that to get a feel for the position of the plate. The other targets I've got set down here at 50 yards, and since I've already reviewed the mini torso right there, I've actually reviewed this particular torso, and I've got a good feel for what the mini torso is going to give me at 50 yards, because it's 3/8 AR 500 plate. So I think that'll there's no reason for me to shoot that, I don't think, right now. Now what I've done is I've gone ahead and set up the two poppers, one spring loaded. I've already reviewed the trifecta spring loaded popper, so I expect that's going to be just fine. It's the same 3/8 AR 500 plate. I put the stake in popper in place, and then I've got the 3-gun post and the 2 dueling plates there. And for the stake in popper, I've only got it in, I don't know, maybe a little over halfway, because it's actually shooting downhill a little bit. But that'll give us an idea of shooting with 223 of how much it needs to be pushed into the ground. It'll give us at least one data point as far as holding that particular staked in popper up. Okay, this is the 3-gun flat with 223 at 25 yards. Okay, you can see it, clearly it flipped over, just like it should. And the, zoom out here. It looks like it shifted back about, I don't know, about 1.5 inches. So, you know, staking may not be required, depending on your particular situation. It looks like he may have hit it right down here low, which would have actually pushed it back further. But you can tell there's actually a little dimple in there. To me, it seems like it's more of a dimple than you'd get in a 3/8 plate. And I can also tell that there's a little bit of a protrusion right there on the back side of that plate right there. But that's at 25 yards, so that gave us one data point right there, and we're going to go ahead and shoot some of these other targets at 50 yards. Okay, this is the Grizzly targets 3-gun post. We're going to shoot it with 223 at 50 yards. And it looks like that's where he hit it right there. And to me, it looks like this dimple is significantly less at 50 yards than the one at 25 yards, which actually it had a depression in there. And even looking at the back of it, you can see it kind of crazed the paint a little bit right there. But there's really, I wouldn't say there's any real protrusion on the back side. It seems rougher. It seems like I can feel something, but it's not that bad. All right, he's going to shoot 223 at 50 yards. Okay, you can see after that round, the targets performed. The only thing I saw is that this 3-gun post actually flipped over when he hit one of the bottom dueling plates, and I think that's possibly a result that I don't have it standing straight up. I'm going to get a some 2x4 to put under that back leg to make it stand up a little bit more, and then we'll do it again. Okay, you can see that the stake-in popper, after a few rounds of only sticking it in that far, starting to lean over. And let's just see here if I can pull it out, and we'll see what's happening. It looks like to me the legs are still straight, so it must be just soft earth that it actually is kind of soft earth. It's been rained here yesterday, so kind of put it in some new holes here. You can tell how soft the earth is if I slid it in like that. Everything's holding up really nice. I really like the action on this these dueling plates. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but they're really snappy as far as when they bounce from one side to the other, and they just like stay in place. Like, I mean, they're just like rock solid when they get over there. And I like that. Okay, I didn't get it on video, but I had a round here. I say a round, a series of shooting to where the thumb screw back here loosened up a little bit. The target dropped down. So just be aware, you know, when you're setting it up, that you tighten that thumb screw down really tight against that piece of wood. Another thing I want to point out here is that the angle on the front is clearly not AR 500, which I really wouldn't expect it to be, but you can see that we're shooting full metal jacket, 155 grain 223 at about 50 yards, and it looked like to me it actually penetrated through that piece of angle. So later on I'll pull it out. You can see here there's another point right there, but just looking down through there, it probably stopped when it hit the piece of rectangular tube on the inside. It probably lost enough energy by that point. Now, I also want to point out here is that it looks like to me that for the plate here, there are a couple of areas right here where it's much more of a dimple than I would normally see for shooting AR 500 plate. But I think possibly it's because of the distance that we're shooting it at and the thick. You know, in reality, this dueling tree probably has its greatest value, I think, more with the handguns, and I'm probably, I don't know if I'd say probably, I'm pushing this to its limit right now, shooting 223 at 50 yards with it. I think if you limit it to handguns only, I just don't see a real issue as long as you keep the energy of your handguns that you're shooting down some, you know, and stick with mainly 9mm 45 auto or 40 caliber.